Hello friends, Jim here with Science Talk. I have a report here discussing how wilderness are under threat. Scientists keep calling for protecting and more areas, setting aside more and more land for protection from development, protecting animals, plants, organisms in general. What do governments continue to do? They continue to remove protection, because they're probably given into their corporate donors, to be quite blunt about it. And in some cases, like Bolsonaro of Brazil, let's just burn down the entire damn Amazon forest. Like that won't screw things up. So basically what we've seen is that wilderness is under increasing pressure, and it's just not good. The world's protected areas, places of supposed greater safety for the millions of trees, shrubs, flowers, fungi, insects, reptiles, fish, amphibians, mammals, and birds, organisms in general, flora and fauna, that survive from millions of years of evolution, are being downgraded, reduced, or developed at an increasing rate. And when you look at Trumpty Dumpty with his stupid wall, that is going to adversely affect just the migration of animals that need to move around. Animals don't know borders, they don't give a rat's ass about that. But this wall will prevent that and will adversely affect populations. Some of the like the cats, I think like the jaguar is an example, or there was the ocelot. I forget offhand. I think those are the some examples. New research shows that since 1892, the formerly protected areas of wilderness have, in effect, lost 2 million square kilometers. That, to put in perspective, that is an area of land and water greater than the state of Mexico, slightly smaller than Saudi Arabia. Of these losses, almost 4/5 have occurred since 2000. 4/5 since 2000. And most openly in the US and the region of Amazonia. In the United States alone, 90% of such proposed downsizing and degradation events have been proposed in the past 18 years. 99% of these have been for industrial scale development. Donald Trump and his administration is opening up public lands for oil and gas extraction and drilling and so forth. And this includes sites that are sacred to Native Americans, such as the Bear Ears, I think it's in Utah. Okay, opening up the coastal plain here in Alaska and other places, offshore drilling everywhere. He's just opening things up for drilling, and that's the last thing you want to be doing. You want to keep the fossil fuels in the ground, not burn it. A new study in the journal Science warns that decisions by President Trump to downsize 2 national monuments, Bear Ears and Grand Staircase Escalante, will reduce the protected terrain by 85% and 51% respectively. Extremely short-sighted, to be blunt. Right? We already talked to you about Bolsonaro and what he's doing in Brazil. Let's give you some numbers. His government proposed to roll back more than 183,000 square kilometers, which is about 45,000 million acres, of protected forest and other habitat. This is an area about the size of the U.S. state of North Dakota. So we're facing 2 global environmental crises: biodiversity loss, climate change. Let me repeat that. Facing 2 global environmental crises: biodiversity loss, climate change, due to global warming. To address both, governments have supposedly established protected areas with the intent of conserving nature in perpetuity. Yet our research shows that protected areas can be rolled back and are not necessarily permanent. This is a statement from Rachel Gordon Kroner, who is a social scientist at George Mason University and who is the lead author, the principal investigator. Loss protection can accelerate forest loss and carbon emissions. Right? If you don't protect the land, you cut them up. Trees can't pull down the CO2. You're gonna cutting down the trees will cause CO2 to increase in the atmosphere. So that just only exacerbates the situation, creating a positive feedback loop of the biodiversity crisis and the climate change crisis, i.e. getting worse. The finding, backed by a worldwide team of more than 20 researchers, comes only weeks after science has warned yet again of the losses of perhaps 1 million species due to environmental destruction and climate change. They have repeatedly warned wildlife needs greater protection and conservation areas are being lost. But you have ever increasing human population. Humans are going to need space to live, work, grow food. Humans are encroaching. This is not sustainable, as I discussed in my carrying capacity video. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. Researchers once again confirm wilderness areas remain the best way to protect species while slowing climate change. Although the US and Brazil have made conspicuous reductions in wildlife protected areas, Brazil is just one of 7 Amazonian countries that have, quote unquote, rolled back 245 state designated protected areas between 1961 and 2017. Australia removed 13,000 square kilometers from protection and undermined protection for another 400,000 square kilometers. The United Kingdom rolled back more than 46,000 square kilometers in 61 places. The UK is not a big place. All to permit hydraulic fracturing for natural gas. Oh, because natural gas is a clean energy source. Bullshit. It's going to throw some methane up in the atmosphere. Cambodia authorized industrial agriculture in 120 instances covering nearly 10,000 square kilometers, and Kenya downsized 14,000 square kilometers of forest and game reserve. So the researchers warned the rates of protected area loss are accelerating, and more than 60% of such events have been associated with industrial scale resource extraction. The researchers argued that it should be as difficult to roll back protected areas as it is to establish them in the first place. Here's a suggestion. Once protected, they can never ever be rolled back. Just a thought. So, basically, we just keep screwing things up. All to extract, and by the way, to extract resources, it's not just only fossil fuels, but the minerals. You know, your metals, your copper, your tin, etc. Well, those are carbon releasing intensive operations. You got to get the machinery in there, the bulldozers, the earth movers, all that run on diesel. Not to mention the clear cutting and ruination of forests, and then all the animals that die as a result. Humans just keep screwing things up. Will humans ever learn? We'll talk soon. Hey folks, this is a reminder to please share my videos with others, and to also please tell others of my channel. Please subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell so that you receive notifications when I upload new videos. I also hope that you will consider supporting the work that I do and supporting this channel by becoming a patron at patreon.com. Details in the description box below. Thank you for your support.